Welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast, where we're joined by your hosts, Tania Gomez and Bryan. In each episode, we'll be sharing valuable insights and tips to help you turn your NDIS business into a profitable venture. So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, you've come to the right place. Let's stop surviving and start thriving.
All right, g'day everybody, and welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast. My name is Bryan, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Tania Gomez. How are you going today, Tania?
I'm wonderful, Paul. It's always lovely to be back on the podcast talking to amazing people. And today we have a great subject all about the changing roles and expectations of business development in NDIS. And we're joined by our wonderful friend, Bobby Singh from Wise Healthcare. Bobby is the visionary founder and director of Wise Healthcare, a leading NDIS provider based in Melbourne. With over 8 years of experience in the disability sector, Bobby's journey began in 2018 when he entered the NDIS industry by offering basic cleaning services. His passion for making a real difference in the lives of individuals with disabilities quickly led him to expand his services, and today he is at the helm of a growing organisation that offers a wide range of supports and services designed to empower NDIS participants. Welcome, Bobby. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Tania, and thank you, Paul. It's been a very good pleasure to share the experience and insights with the changing NDIS sector and the entire landscape in the NDIS that has changed in the last 8 years. What I've seen, especially with the business development, how you can reach out to the other providers, community, connect with the participants, and everything. It has its own highs and lows, which I'm sure we've been discussing from the previous discussions that we've had between all three of us. We do share a lot of those similar opinions on how the things and ideas have actually changed. So, but what do you think, Paul? How have you seen the changes in the recent times in your experience?
Yeah, I've seen a big change from, I guess, I'll comment more so on the WA market because that's where I've had probably the most visual experience of the changes, where we've seen a lot of providers move from those large not-for-profits and the business development managers turning up to networking meetings to the emergence of the smaller provider coming out and the owner doing all the legwork, and then them growing and bringing in some sort of business development. I imagine you've probably seen quite a wide array of changes over the last 8 years. I guess particularly around that role of business development manager, how have you seen that evolve over the last few years?
Look, it's very subjective to put it together, the role or the outcome expected. So there are two different things. The role of the business development manager has stayed the same in a way or the other. Where the expectations have changed, of course, but for a business development manager, a person in that particular position or that particular role, what they were doing back then in their particular position or their chair to achieve the similar outcome, the processes and those activities that somebody has to do has completely changed very drastically. It is a very wide change. We've come a very long way. Now, it can be an advent of whether that is awareness or whether that is the amount of information out there, amount of number of providers who are offering different services, platforms and processes that we can collaborate with the others. There's so many different ways. So, but once again, like you said, it is very owner-centric approach with the business development. How a particular business owner is viewing their particular services and the vision with their own business, how they have really trained and laid down those expectations from the business development manager is very crucial to the particular role. So if the owner is after, I met somebody, I was discussing with somebody, and I looked into somebody's business so many different ways. A person is, a business owner out there is looking for a business development manager with a targeted KPIs of a certain numbers of the revenue in a certain period of time. If the person achieves, yes, you stay with the business, or if not, then you don't stay with the business. I think this approach was quite very valid about 8 years ago or 10 years ago from now. But at this stage, it is more about building relationships, whether that is with the external providers or the participants, your internal teams, understanding the processes. And it's business development is not just lead generation, lead nurturing, conversions. It's the entire responsibility from the owner's perspective as well to build a relationship for a business with the other outsiders or the external stakeholders, technically when we call it. What do you think, Tania?
Yeah, I think as the NDIS evolves through the rollout sense, it was a brand new scheme 13 years ago, so it really didn't have any kind of structures, and all of that had to be built. Block funding model, there was no BDMs for a block funded business. They were given money and they were matched with participants, so there wasn't that need. So it's obviously a brand new profession that has been changing and evolving over time. I guess my question for you, Bobby, is around there's obviously an increased competition. There's more providers now than we've ever seen before. What are the key factors that really set a really good BDM apart from another?
What sets one BDM apart from the other is once again, it's once again a very human-centric approach on how the person is looking at their role in the industry at large, in the complete NDIS disability-focused sector or the healthcare sector at large, and how human-centric that individual is as well towards this service delivery for the participants, ensuring that the processes, the systems, the internal team and the external parties and stakeholders, how they are looking after each other. Once again, as I said, it's not really meet the KPIs or the targets. It is more about developing the business and evolving the business as it is going. The people that we have relationship with, like I do say it to quite a few people when something similar comes up. Business development is more like relationship management. And to create a relationship with an external provider and then maintain the relationship, you have to be on your toes at some points to make sure the promises that you have made, your team that's working with you in the office while you're out there building those relationships, people there are able to deliver the promises that you have made, because you're out there to make new relationships, to shake hands with more people, to connect with more people, to get to know them more, to tell them more about the goods that your group and the team is doing behind you. So at the same time, it's important for the team as well to work in a very collaborative environment to make sure those promises are met. And it goes hand in hand from there on, like any other relationship that develops. We make a friend. I connected with you today, Paul. I'm already looking forward to coming to Perth. When I come to Perth, I definitely want to meet you, with you, sit down with you, have a coffee. That's once again, it's the human-centered approach. How much do I respect you at the same time? And then how much do I take those active steps to make sure that I do keep that promise, you know? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's very important to look at it that way, and it does take time because a lot of participants with the growth in competition. I went to the other conference. I keep looking at some of the graphs and numbers. Give or take, there is about 260 to 275 registered and unregistered providers in NDIS sector out there. That's within this country we're talking about. It's not another country combined. The amount of amount and the number of amount of services and the number of participants out there are being looked after by one or the other NDIS provider. So for somebody to be out there and being available, ensuring that they are doing the right thing is a very crucial part of the business development out there today. It's not just spending money vigorously in marketing and social media and all that. It is converting with a particular focus in mind on what service you're offering and how you're actually making a difference. So business development manager has to be more aware of the norms, the evolution, the providers, the connections, understanding of a very collaborative environment. That is what I promote with a few of the networking gatherings that I organize. It's all about collaboration, working with the other providers, not just I be the winner.
Yeah, Yeah. I mean, that idea of winning is probably fairly normal to a BDM in probably any other industry. It's very, very sales driven. It's all the metrics and KPIs. In this space, I know people sort of really shy away from KPIs quite a lot, those key indicators about what's happening and measuring those metrics. How can a BDM balance, targets, but still maintain that participant first engagement? What are some of the practical tools you've seen work?
It's staying in focus and within your own lines about the services that you provide. Do not diversify into the areas that you don't provide a particular support or a service for the participant. Do not diversify into the area of knowledge that you don't know anything about. There are experts out there. Tania is always helpful. She's always a phone call away, or send her an email and she'll reply back, or somebody from her team will always reply back. That becomes something very important to understand, and keep your ideas open to ask a question, to create a question, to ask a particular relevant question. Do a little bit of a research. It's okay to not to know everything. There's hundreds of different possible services under NDIS that can be done. There's 50 or to 60 different supports, different tasks that somebody can do just under core supports. It's not straight line. So it's okay to not to be okay. So that's an important understanding for a lot of people to make sure that as a core service provider, you cannot be a specialist or the best in allied health services provider. As a person who's a registered nurse, or if you are good at looking after the person's medical health as a registered nurse, you may not be the best plan manager at the same time. So do good, do it within the lines, within the framework of your own expertise, which is very important. If you go into the other side and you want to diversify into an area where you do not have that expertise, or you haven't done proper or enough reading, it won't work. You would be running towards something that you don't even know if it exists. You don't have the skills and tools to achieve that. But at the same time, you're also losing grip on something that you are good at. So that's something a lot of businesses need to be focused on. I have done my mistakes as well in the process. This is coming from my own personal learning as well. It's not that something. This is coming from just reading some books and everything, the business development and the 4 and 5 P's of marketing. So coming from the first-hand experience, really, I've been into the areas where I should not have been. So I've been providing some services where once it started, then I had to do long reading, like days and nights all at once. I had to put my nights and days into one. I've lost a lot of countless weekends, really. So even the BDMs and owners, they need to be working together, because it's for the business at large, not just for a particular service only or a region. It is having that vision, like what we were discussing about that yesterday in the online provider collective that we had, another one that was organized by Tania. It is about keeping focus on where you are heading and what your vision is with your business, what your goals are, what sort of services are you wanting to provide. So stay very focused. It's very important. And ask a question.
I love that. I think staying in your lane and staying within your expertise is definitely what we always recommend, right, Paul? We always talk about having a niche, owning a niche, communicating that, knowing your client. And I think that makes a big difference for BDMs, as well as knowing what is their role and their responsibilities. I guess one of the challenges that I always see is that there's a lot of emphasis on finding new clients and new referrals and new participants. But obviously, there's a lot of providers fighting for the same participants out there. How can a BDM actually keep finding new clients? Is it just that referral network, or is there other strategies that can be used to really help move into a new area for a BDM to be able to find these participants? Because it's not like they're just sitting there, on an apple tree waiting to be picked. They're actually, most participants are engaged with supports. And so is it about you doing a better job than somebody else, or is it about finding people as businesses close and shut down, or is it just being really clear on that niche?
Uh, Paul, I would love to hear your opinion on this really first.
Oh, look, I always come from the point of actually just serving the market as a start, just providing value from a starting point to the market. We've come across so many providers that have just been able to provide support to other providers to be able to say, hey, I can help you with that. Often just the whole idea of however it looks for you, but coming with an open hand and saying, here's what we can actually offer, rather than with the ask of, do you have any referrals for me, is the pathway that we usually want people to take. But you're 100% right. When you know your niche, when you know your lane very well, you can become an expert in there and just be seen as the go-to for a certain area of support or a certain type of service. And that's what we like to really dive into.
Yeah. I'd like to raise an example here. So I met somebody at one of my events that we hosted, and this person I'm talking about is a registered nurse. So there was, and she wanted to get clients. She was struggling on how she can get some clients and stuff. I won't name her at this time. If she's hearing, she will definitely give me a call, I'm sure. And she was going after support, personal supports, the self-care assistance, community participation, and everything. We sat down and we worked around a particular possible way to stay within the nursing only and talk about nursing and try do nothing else for a while. I met her a few weeks back and she was busy like anything, and she was already saying no to the clients, that she cannot have more clients, which she's already very busy with all the commitments and the workload and the client load that she already has. Now, when a person like that is going to hire a BDM, coming back to what we are talking, it's important to understand what our focus is and what we want the BDM to be doing. Yes, there can be a certain possibilities, like any business that we do. We start a cleaning service business, we start a restaurant business, we start an NDIS services business, or even a small medical clinic by itself. We start as one single person with a one person's vision. What do I want to do? What do I want to make a difference in the community, or how do I want to make a difference? What sort of support I want to extend into the community and make that necessary difference where I see the gap. This person might be busy providing nursing supports, but there can be possibilities, and she might see the gap in allied health side with all the participants that she's looking after. The BDM that she hires is the role is going to be for the person to gather knowledge, bring knowledge and understanding, and build an expertise and skill for the business. So that is a part of a development for the business. We bring some sort of an expertise into the business where we can provide that allied health supports and services within those line of compliances and boundaries, so we don't cross over each other. And that particular person is an extension of the business owner, with a similar vision of making that necessary difference, but from a different perspective, from a different service lane. And that person starts looking after the entire allied health with the person. As they grow, then they hire somebody called an accountant, because now they cannot do enough invoicing all by themselves. So an accountant becomes a part of the business development team as well, because they have to make sure invoicing is done right. Everybody's getting paid right. The numbers are matching up with the price guides. The financial compliances and regulations are all really followed in the rightful manner. So it's every single person from there on that keeps adding on into the team becomes a part of their large business development team, who work in their own lanes, whether even rostering a shift, whether that is raising an invoice, whether that is going out and spreading the word about your organization. It makes a lot of difference, and that becomes a very collaborative effort. In some gatherings, I talk about that. When we are talking about 10 different people or 20 different people within a particular business getting paid on the same day from a single signing off authority on their paycheck, that is a team that builds a business. But when the similar relationship is extended for a business to a business and a business to a wide network of businesses, that becomes a collaboration for a better better outcome for the NDS participants at large, or in the middle of it for the with the whole focus. Make sense?
Yeah.
Uh,
They're building that
Right.
internal collaboration to be able to actually bring, like the business development just becomes a extension of the entire business as it is itself, to perpetuate the growth and allow everything to actually happen as it should.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you think, Tania? You've seen a lot more businesses than us, so.
Yeah, look, I think that's I agree. I'm not sure there's anything more that I can add to that. I think you guys did a really great job in summing all of that up. I think NDIS is just very different than every other sector because it is so human centered, and it has to actually be about what's right for the participant. So you just always have to remember that first and put that in the center of everything you do. And even Paul and I refer people to Paul that I could sell to. People come and say, I want you to coach me, and I go, look, what do you actually need? I dig into it and say, look, I probably could do that, but I'm not going to do it as well as Paul. So I'm going to send you to Paul. He'll help you with that. And Paul does the same. People come to Paul all the time and ask him to help with compliance stuff because, there's a area where it overlaps. And Paul will say, look, I can help you up to here, but anything past this line, you have to go and speak to Tania because she's going to help you best. And both of us could actually just take more money from that client, but ethically, we know we're not the best person to help them to meet their goals and their needs. And I think that is very much the case in disability, that we have to always think about what's best for this client. Sure, I can go and get some training tomorrow about how to do a peg feed. Doesn't mean I'm going to be as good for this participant as someone that's got 20 years with a participant just like them. And so it's not chasing the dollar, but chasing the outcome. And I'm a teacher by background, and we were always told in teachers college that it's about the outcome, not the income. And I feel like in disability, it's the same. It's about the participants' outcomes, not so much about the income that can generate. So I guess that's my only addition to the point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then we also, it's also important to understand that in the NDIS sector, unlike many other sectors, you're not dealing with the participant directly to generate that sale or nurture that particular lead. I've got a huge amount of database of the participants. I cannot be calling the participants directly, every single one of them, that, okay, I've got this service and I will look after you better and I'll give you a $1 discount. It's, once again, it's coming from the NDIS. It's that $1 discount or 50 cents of a discount per hour is not going to make too much of a difference for them because it's coming from the plan. It's from the tax dollars on the NDIS budgets in that particular support. We're not selling them directly, but once again, it's also falling within the NDIS regulations, where we cannot approach a participant to create a direct sale. We have to go through the entire care network, whether that's allied health professionals, whether that is a support coordinator, or be referred to somebody by a word of mouth, and that's how it goes. So the credibility of your supports on what you are delivering the promises that you made initially is very crucial and very important in this sector. So I've been at a point where I had zero marketing budgets. I had a huge workload and the caseload and the number of participants that we were looking after. We had people refer us bottom, left, top, right, center. So it happened to us every day. But then any of the marketing? No. I was not even running any social media ads in that time. I was not even going into any events, no sponsorships, no presence anywhere outside my the four walls and the door in the office, nowhere. But that was doing the right thing, staying within the lane, making sure that all the needs and requirements are being met, all the communication is being done in time. That was very, very important. And then if you're doing it right for the people at the center, then yes, the word does spread. The things going back to the idea of what has changed, it is the vision that has changed. People are wanting to make a lot of money. They want to be too big, too soon. And that's burning a lot of people. It's not just the essential oils that they're trying to burn. It is their pockets that they're burning. They're hiring BDMs, paying them high packages, salaries, but they're not getting that sort of a return out of it for any means. So, and the BDMs are not really, not every BDM, I would say. I've met very good people who really understand. We share very similar ideas with them as well. They don't have that proper focus or the appropriate training or the vision sharing with the authorities within their own organization on what they're supposed to be doing. When they can be sometimes, if it's a larger organization wanting to get into another service, then there is the hierarchy that just takes over. So getting a decision being made, So
Yeah.
but if a participant needs that service, and I've got a team that I've got the rostering, I've got the software, I've gone through all the research, we can make it happen, but I have to get my manager to sign off as a BDM, and the manager has to get their executive manager, and the executive manager has to take that forwarded to the CEO. The idea gets lost in the Chinese whisper by the time it goes from one point to the other, and the boss says it comes down back to me as something that my boss doesn't like me.
Yeah.
If it happens one too many times, well, it's the organization can lose a good BDM that could have taken the business into places. So that it's important to really put all of those things together. Sometimes it's difficult. It's much more difficult, and it's much easier said to take a few steps back as a business owner, or the BDM itself as well, because you're an extension to the business owner, to take a few steps back and look at the entire picture at large, then step back into the arena with a better focus and better plan of action. So
I think that's a very good point as well. I think we've covered so much today, and it's been really interesting to get your takes on the business development and how it's evolved and changed. If someone's out there, Bobby, wanting to continue this conversation with you or to learn more about what you do at Wise Healthcare, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
They can definitely reach me at my email. That's bobby@wisehealthcare.com.au. They can definitely add me on social media, on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn, as well as on my Facebook personal account. They can do that. I'm not the best running between different messages. I've got 4 different windows open here on my desk, 4 different screens on my desk here. So I'm not the best sometimes to be replying back promptly within the second or something. But yes, I've got the message, and I will definitely review it and everything, and I'll come back to you. Coming back to assisting the community, sharing the knowledge. Tania, I don't know if you've gone through it. I think you have. I've set up a GPT within ChatGPT. So if you go into Explore GPTs and look for NDIS Navigator and Guidebot by Wise HC, that is a knowledge base that I have put together for any other NDIS providers, whether they want to get some assistance within retweaking their business processes or anything, or they want to get some guidance about marketing or strategizing for their own specific NDIS business. That Guidebot is quite really helpful. I'm keeping it updated with all the latest happening informations and stuff. It's quite very helpful if somebody wants to ask that question. So if somebody wants to get back to me with a particular query, go there, talk to it, see what comes out of it. But at the same time, I think the Guidebot itself will guide you to a particular link where you can book some time with me, or send me some of the documents or emails or some query details if there is something that you want to get some better insights into. I can definitely get back to you as well on that as well. But when you do, once again, I'm not the auditor, I'm not the compliance manager. I've got a separate compliance manager here in the office with me who looks after everything. But if you want some professional advice, then Tania would be the one for something like that.
Thanks, Bobby. Always love the shout out.
Awesome, mate. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to our listeners. Hope you learned something and got a new insight into business development, what that's looked like throughout the time, how it operates collaboratively. And we will see you on next fortnight's episode. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Tania.
Thanks, Bobby.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast with Tania Gomez and Paul Bryan. We hope you found today's episode informative and valuable. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a rating, and share it with others who could benefit from our insights. Until next time, keep thriving.